Oh my goodness, there is no way that's an actual pineapple. Yo, what? It won't stop growing. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. And in today's video, I want to show you guys a method that can make your fruit really big. And when I mean big, I mean really big. But before I show you guys the actual method, I want to talk about a few things about it. Now, to do this method, I'm not gonna lie, you might need a lot of money because you're gonna be spending your money on either eggs or trading. And you guys know how trading goes. When somebody wants something, they want a lot of it. So it could be possible you might be spending over 100 billion shekels. I'm not gonna lie. But of course, I'm not really the best when it comes to trading because I get all my pets on my own. Like for example, every time I log in, I use 3 accounts to buy eggs from the egg store. So if I see a paradise egg, I buy it with 3 accounts. If I see a bug egg, I also buy it with 3 accounts, and so on. And if you log in every single day, but then again, you might have to log in every single hour to see which pets are in stock. Or you could use Discord to see which pets are in stock without logging in. Either way, you want to be consistent when buying eggs so you get the actual pets you want. Because if you could avoid trading, I would do that every single time. And on top of that, there's also a very high chance you might get scammed, so make sure you find a middleman. Alright, but now let's talk about the method itself. So there's actually going to be 2 fruits I want to test out, and it's going to be the pineapple and banana. And with these 2 fruits, I'm going to be planting like maybe 5 of each. And because I'm planting so many, I'm going to need a lot of sprinklers. Because for this video, I'm going to be doing the sprinkler method at the same time. And if you guys are not familiar with the sprinkler method, pretty much you put down every single sprinkler you want to use. So like for example, in this video, I use the basic, advanced, godly, and master sprinkler. So in total, I use 4. But if you really want to, you could put down the chocolate sprinkler and honey sprinkler with those 4. And pretty much you place down all your sprinklers, and then after you place them down, you put down the fruit you want to grow. And also, if you guys want, you could leave the server and wait for it to grow and then come back. And then after your fruit is done growing, if you guys want, you could delete the sprinklers or move your plants over. Either way you do this, your seeds are going to keep the sprinkler effect forever. But make sure if you guys do not want to delete the sprinklers, just move the crops over away from the radius of the sprinklers. Because if you keep it in the radius, it's going to reset the effect. And that's pretty much how the sprinkler method goes. Maybe one of these days, I'll dedicate a video just for the sprinkler method and use like maybe 7 to 8 different sprinklers. I think that'd be a pretty cool video to do. Maybe tomorrow I'll do that. But once you do the sprinkler method on your fruit, you're going to be ready for the next part. And once the sprinkler's timer ends, you're going to be using 2 pets. You're going to be using the Toucan and the blood hedgehog. Now let's look at what the Toucan does. For the passive ability, it grants all tropical plants within 25.77 studs a 1.70 times size bonus. And on top of that, it also gives you a 1.80 times varied chance bonus. So not only does the Toucan help you get really big fruit, it'll help you get the rainbow and golden mutation. And I'm telling you right now, it's pretty consistent with that. And also keep in mind, the bigger your Toucan is, the better it is. Because the passive ability will be a little bit stronger and the radius will be a little bit bigger too. And just like with size, the age also matters. So the older your pet is, the better it is. So if you have a maxed out Toucan, you're going to be getting so much benefits. But also keep in mind, the Toucan only works with certain seeds. Because you have to remember, it only works with tropical fruits. So banana, coconut, dragon fruit, durian, honeysuckle, mango, papaya, parasol flower, passion fruit, pineapple, and pitcher plant. But like I said before, for this example, I'm going to be using pineapple. But hey, I'm going to tell you guys one more thing. I'm not even joking. If you have the honeysuckle, use it with this. Because you have to remember, the honeysuckle has a base value of 100,000 shekels. And I'm not going to lie, you have to watch the rest of the video and you're going to see why I say this. Because with the honeysuckle in this method, you can make trillions of shekels, no exaggeration. And for the next pet, you're going to be using a blood hedgehog. And if I'm being honest, this one is going to be optional. Because if it's possible, try to get as many toucans as you can. Honestly, if you really could, try to have between 5 to 8 toucans at all times. The only reason I'm using blood hedgehogs because I don't have that many toucans. I only have 3 at the moment. But with the blood hedgehog, the passive ability, it grants all prickly fruit a 2.02 times size bonus. And it also gives all prickly fruit a 1.16 times variant bonus. But the cool thing about the blood hedgehog, the more you have, the bigger the fruit size you get. So for example, in my case, I have 5 blood hedgehogs and 3 toucans. And with that alone, you're going to see just how big these fruits could get. But like I said before, if you get 8 toucans, it's even better. And also keep in mind, when it comes to prickly fruit, it only boosts dragon fruit, durian, celesta berry, cactus, nectar thorn, pineapple, and I believe also prickly pear. So only these fruits could be affected. And as you can see with the toucan and blood hedgehog, that is why I'm using pineapple. Because both pets affect the pineapple, and I think with that, we're going to get really big pineapples. And I'm not even joking, it might go over 100 kilograms. And I feel like by now, trading for a blooded hedgehog is pretty easy compared to a toucan. Because I'm not even joking, yesterday I planted like maybe 20 rare summer eggs and I got no toucans. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of sad when I saw that, but you know what? It's fine, we move on. I guess it works out I could use blooded hedgehogs to replace the toucans. Alright, now I want you guys to see something. Look at this. Just look how big these pineapples are. And by the way, if I collect them, they're gonna continue to get even bigger. So let me just take all the pineapples and bananas down. And yeah, also I did it with bananas because they could get really big as well. And I'm not even joking, you can't see them because they're growing underneath the map. I'm not really sure if there's a way to see that. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be possible, but look at that. You can just see the size of the bottom. What's even crazy too, these are not even that big. Like, look at this real quick. Like, look at the size of this pineapple, 191.22 kilograms. Yo, like, look at this size. Any of you could do this. And I'm pretty sure it's not just luck. I got another one of these. Where is it though? I for sure have one right here. All right, there we go. This one is actually the biggest one I have. 195 kilograms. It's literally bigger than the entire garden. So yeah, as you can see, it's definitely possible with this method to get really big fruit. But as you can see, none of these fruit are actually that big. I mean, they're big, but not as big as I want it to be. So all you gotta do is just collect it and the toucans will redo it. And this also works for giant bananas. And by the way, it's pretty common to get rainbow pineapples. As you can see, this one is gonna be 60 kilograms rainbow pineapple. And I'm pretty sure this one sells for a decent amount of money. Let me go check it out. This one sells for 38 million shekels. But of course, if I had other mutations, it would have been even better. But yeah, but these pineapples, they're pretty big, but as you can see, the other ones are almost 200 kilograms. And I'm not even joking, I've seen somebody have a 500 kilogram like dragon fruit. So as you can see, it's very possible for this to work on many fruits. And wouldn't surprise me if it could be the size of the entire map. But of course, to do that is gonna take a lot of luck and a lot of time. But yeah, but this method definitely works, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really fun. Hey, look, I have a rare summer egg. Man, it's crazy. I planted so many eggs, I got no toucans. But at least you could say I got lucky. I got 3 like a while ago. And these toucans are pretty decent size too. Yeah, this one weighs 2.70 kilograms. So they're not that small. But you know what is small? These pineapples. I gotta pick them up. But yeah, but for the most part, this method definitely works. And if you take your time, you could get some good mutations and make a lot of money. Oh, and also before I forget, you guys could use a magnifying glass. I think it's a new gear. It came out like the last update. If you don't want to pick your fruit, you could use it to see how big it is, I believe. Yeah, this whole magnifying glass. So if you guys want, you could see like if it's worth picking or not. Look at the size of the bananas. Wow. Oh, I think one is coming in really big. The only bad thing about it is better to have a clear garden because for some reason these pets like to be in the middle of your garden. So unless you could plant your pineapples or whatever in the middle, that's gonna be the only way you could do this. Because I'm not really sure why, but all pets like roaming in the middle. So if you have a full garden, this might be a little bit difficult. Unless you're really patient, you just wait for the pet to go to that fruit. But yeah, but I think for the most part, it's pretty much all I got for today. I just want to show you guys this really quick method because it's really nice to do. But for the most part, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.